Today, February 27. This is an important day for the working class of Sri Lanka. We all know, after conquering of the Candian kingdom by the British, in Sri Lanka the working class emerged, especially after introducing the coffee, later tea and rubber, in alliance with number of industries were taken place, including the transport and the railway, harbour, and aligned industries were arise, as well as the township also emerged. With that, the working class emerged in Sri Lanka. But in the meantime, the coffee and the tea garden, later in the tea garden, there are migrant workers who were brought by the British, also they lived. Even though the migrant workers were brought under the contract basis, once they were included into the plantation, they were treated by the British planters in a way where as a dictator or a tyrant. So in this context only, in 1930s, there's a change took place where the working class of Colombo, they organized under trade union, initially A.E. Gunasinghe, and the later one person joined, is also Indian, K. Nadeshaya, and they work among them. But in 1935, there's a leap forward in the working class movement after the arrival of Dr. Colina de Silva, Dr. N.M. Pereira, Dr. S. Vikramasinghe and others. They introduced the communist theory and they try to organize the working class, and they intend to build or create a working class state or a government. Then they started to mobilize the working class in 1935 in the urban, in Colombo sector. In 1939, they started move towards the plantation sector. At that time, the Nadesar, K. Nadesar, who organized the working class of the plantation sector since 1931, he is not in a position to mobilize entire working class. But the LSSP, they formed the All Sri Lankan Estate Workers Union, and they mobilized the plantation workers, saying that we want to build a workers' Raj or a workers' government. So the working class of the plantation also, they also mobilized with the believing that we can build the workers' Raj or a worker state. They joined under this union, and they started to challenge the white planters also. So in 1939, they started a strike in the Mulloya estate, demanding 16 cents wage increase and also other demands to the working class, the rights which are violating. So that led to a strike, and the strike was suppressed by inviting the police. The police fired and one worker was shot dead, called Govindan. Even though the workers was killed, the working class was the plantation, they didn't scare. The mobilizing under the All Sri Lankan estate workers was increased, workers unions was increased. Wherever you go, the workers are mobilizing under the trade union, because with the intention that they can build a working class state or a government. So in this context, a state near to this Mulloya called Stellenberg, the workers of that state also, they also mobilized under the All Sri Lankan Estate Workers Union. What has happened was, the superintendent of the estate called AGC Pope, he didn't allow to form this union. And he try to punish the workers who are mobilizing under the union, and also he terminated the services of the one worker, Mayapan. He was sacked and he was prohibited to enter the estate. But the workers who joined with him, they started to think about that, how to overcome this. We know the history of the Indian liberation history. When we try to recollect the Indian liberation struggle, one name come to our memory is Bhagat Singh. The Bhagat Singh is a writer and is a theologian and also is a fighter. He accepted the gallows with his colleagues because he killed a police superintendent who tortured and let to die one of his colleagues. Is a writer. Then what has happened was, to take revenge, he initiated that plan and killed that superintendent of the police. As a result of that, he was given capital punishment. In the capital punishment, he accepted with his colleagues without any fear or asking pardon. So like that, in this estate, who work with this guy, Mayapan, is called, like him also, like Bhagat Singh, is a 22 years old Veerasamy, a worker of this student work estate. He thought to eliminate the white planter. They plant, and in line with this one of his colleagues, Velayadam, and they killed the AC Pope in 1941, May 9th. Then what has happened was, when the case is going on, they were given capital punishment to the Veerasamy in the first accused, and the second accused is Velayadam. Then punishment was given, capital punishment, it was appealed. The appeal also, the same verdict was given by the jury. Then the first accused, Veerasamy, should be sent to the gallows on February 27. The following day, 28, the Velayadam. The judge asking us, this is a normal thing, whoever sentenced to the gallows, then they will ask, what is your final or last will, or what do you prefer? Then when they asked this question, Veerasamy didn't utter anything. Then the Velayadam, he was in the prison at the time, the both are in the prison cell. On the 26th, the Velayadam writing a small letter to the judge saying that, sir, you try to prevent us to enter into this gallows, but unfortunately it was not happened. This is our fate. But they are mentioning in Tamil, in the Velayadam, long live the world working class. The secondly mentioned in that, let our union flourish and also to strengthen. These two words only they written. So you can imagine, in the working class history of Sri Lanka, the illiterate working class, illiterate means that little educated man, trusting on what is the policy they believe, that means the communism, and also thinking of the working class liberation and thinking of the working class state, they sacrifice their lives and they never ask anything. So what has happened was, in this particular day, was not commemorized or observed by the working class or the working class movement of this country, or even the left parties of the country. You know, the Samsamaja party, they observe the memorial, observe these two comrades or two working class leaders certain period, and they forgotten. Following that, there are a number of trade union movement arose in this country and the left parties. But none of the left parties and the working class trade union movement never observe or to never memorialize these two working class leaders who sacrificed their life without any fear or any kind of a regret. They went to the gallows. So martyrs, these are the two martyrs in Sri Lankan working class history. But the working class movement and the left movement forgot these martyrs. So I just brief these two martyrs mean the working class, the current working class movement and the current left parties should take up these two, the great leaders of this country, mean the working class leaders who sacrificed their life on behalf of the betterment of the working class, and also with the intention or with the thinking that one day the working class government will arise in this country. So this is a kind of a small brief note to think the working class leaders of the countries and the left parties of the country. Thank you very much. So these 2 days, the February 27th and the 28th are the martyrs days of Sri Lankan working class. Again, thank you very much.